Good morning. Welcome in. Mike Detillier on the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 1059 The Zone. We're streaming live on the Out of Bounds radio app. And are you ready to take the field, charge the court? Because sports betting just got easier than ever. Now, BetMGM customers can sign in, place bets, manage their cash balance all under the same BetMGM account in any live market. Take the sportsbook born in Vegas with you and place your bets in any BetMGM state. Take your game to the next level with BetMGM, the king of sports books. And whichever action you choose, you can bet easily. Anywhere, BetMGM is live right in the palm of your hand. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsible. And don't forget, experience the action at BetMGM Book Bar and Grill at the Beau Rivage on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. We welcome in Mike Detillier, WWL Radio TV New Orleans. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Mike D, after the disaster in Carolina, with as many coaching changes as you've been through over the years, I don't guess you were surprised that the Saints brass let go of Dennis Allen yesterday.
No, not really. It had not been their MO to do it mid-season on anything. But after losing to the worst team in the NFL, where does that place you? You really had no choice at that stage. And just seeing the reaction from players on the team, you really had to pull the plug on Dennis Allen. And you had no other choice also but to elevate Darren Rizzi. You know, Darren has been a kind of a live wire, no insulation, special teams coach, really sharp guy. Personality-wise is totally different than Dennis Allen. He's been a head coach at the collegiate level, got brought into the NFL by Bill Parcells, and he gets brought to the Saints by Sean Payton. And so, you know, he's a guy that, as a special teams coach, what a lot of people don't realize, you're involved with offensive and defensive players.
That's right.
To play on special teams, and even the quarterbacks. So, you know, he's going to give him a little oomph, I think, for a week or two. But I think the problems on this football team is much bigger than Dennis Allen. It's a personnel issue. And failed drafts, misses on a lot of early round picks, has caught up with this team. And you've gotten older, okay? Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, Tyrann Mathieu, core players gotten older.
We know how successful Mickey Loomis has been and what he's meant to the franchise, but how much is on Mickey Loomis and his supporting cast, Mike D?
Mickey has always said, I have the final voice with the Saints on any move. If it's personnel, finances, whatever, he's the final voice. So a lot of it falls on him. He is also one of the executors of Gail Benson and Tom Benson's will. So, you know, got a lot of fans, well, get rid of Mickey Loomis. You don't understand. He is part of this structure with Gail Benson and Dennis Lauscher, who is the head financial guy for the Benson family. Mickey Loomis will leave on his own terms. He won't leave on your terms. And so a lot of it falls certainly on Mickey. It has come to him. And I think there's some realization that this is not going to be a quick fix rebuild. It's going to take a while. So I agree with you, Bo. It falls a lot on his shoulders. And along with Jeff Ireland, you know, he's the director of college personnel. He's the guy that's giving you the information on these college players. Other than 2017, you got nothing to hang your hat on.
I get this. We're visiting with Saints insider Mike Detillier. He joins us on the Out of Bounds show. Dennis Allen fired yesterday morning. Some would say he was fired a long time ago. Saints will be looking for a new coach starting actually, yesterday, today, 3 weeks ago. Loomis and his army will be putting together all kinds of things as to what direction they want to go. We visited with Mike D last week and talked about the Ben Johnson sweepstakes, which is the offensive coordinator for the Lions. There will be others who will be highly coveted. Do you get the sense that Jeff Ireland could be a guy who has to take the sword and walk the plank with what you just said, Mike D?
Yes. Yes. There's no doubt about it. That, it falls on his shoulders, too. These drafts have been a disaster for the Saints. You got first and second round picks that are watching, not playing. Bo, in this league, you better hit on those early picks. You better hit on them. And they have not.
That's a great point. That's a great point, Mike.
Look at it. Think about if everything was open, trade-wise, who could you get the most for in a trade with the Saints? It's Eric McCoy, the center.
Yeah.
The number two guy would probably be your first-round pick in April, Taliase Fuaga. Then there's a major drop-off after that. And you had a little bit of bad luck, too. Ryan Ramczyk, who was one of the top right tackles in pro football, he's had some serious knee issues. And he's going to have to walk away, I guess, officially from the game next year, excuse me. Ryan won't ever play again. And you're talking about a guy that's, right around 30 years old? Tackles that are 30 years old, they still have a lot of life in them in the NFL. And he was one of the top right tackles in the NFL. And he'll never suit up again. Never. So you had a little bit of bad luck there along the offensive line with, losing Ramczyk. But, those things happen. So you can see this team has a big boy. They do not have one great player. Think about it. Not one great player. They got two very good players that are under 28 years old. And that being Eric McCoy and Taliase Fuaga. I would throw Marshawn Lattimore in that category too. Because when he's healthy, ain't a lot of cornerbacks in this league can play like he can. But, man, the last 2.5 years, he's been on the shelf quite a bit.
I was about to say. So Mike D, Mike Detillier has been covering the Saints for 35 years plus. He joins us on the Out of Bounds show. Dennis Allen out. This is an organization that realized they could win. They got a taste of it, which means what? We talk about this all the time with different college teams and NFL teams. They want to win again. And so pressure is on Mickey Loomis in the front office to get this right. Mike joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Show is brought to you by Subway at Grants Ferry. Cater your next ball team's lunch or dinner at Subway at Grants Ferry. Mike D, this is hard to do in the NFL. The competition, the players are so good. Saints can beat a lot of teams too. Do you tank, or Bo? There's no such thing. These guys are gonna prepare and play to win. How does it go from here on out?
Okay, if you're on the roster now, you're guaranteed your money all year long. I mean, it's there. It's guaranteed because you've made the 53. But, Bo, if you want to extend your career in the NFL, I work with Bobby Hebert, and he always says this, Mike, the real world sucks the way it pays. And I want to get paid like an athlete. And he's right about that.
Yes.
So if you want to extend your career, well, why would you tank? I don't get that part of it. Your reputation as a player is on the line. And if you want to end your career, hey, then tank. But you're not playing anymore. Those 31 other teams watch every play. And you know what they want to know about? How you handled when things were bad. Not when you handle things good. Anybody can do that. But handle it when it's bad. And so there is no tanking. You might play bad, but there is no tanking in the NFL. Just because if you want to continue this as a career and you put out bad tape, you're not playing anymore. Not playing one more snap. They got other teams that watch it and see it.
Right. That's right. Okay. Mike, I want to switch gears here for just a second, but I need enough time to get to Bama at LSU. Can you just frame up like how you would grade the decision by the Cowboys to not take Derrick Henry after Henry had said he wanted to go there? He and Dak were together in the offseason, and Jerry chooses Zeke. Jerry and Steven, I guess, choose Zeke over Derrick Henry. Frame that up. How big of a missed opportunity was it for Dallas?
That's an F. That's an F. And Jerry has changed his story on that so many times. I don't know about fit than it was about money. Come on. You got money for everything else. You didn't have $8 million to pay for Derrick Henry.
Chump change.
Be real. That it goes to show, Jerry is maybe will go down when it's all said and done. The greatest businessman owner ever in the NFL. The best as far as business is concerned. He framed stuff up that was not in place until he got there. But as a general manager, he don't get no passing grades. And Derrick Henry would have been a big help to the Cowboys. And I don't give the other teams a pass either.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that Derrick Henry wouldn't have helped, other teams in this league.
Good point.
Come on.
Good point.
But, he was so public about it. And Derrick lives right there in Dallas, trains there. I mean, how could you miss on that? How could you miss on that? And Derrick is a unique guy because I did a lot of work with the Tennessee Titans radio network. So got to be around Derrick. He trains a certain way that is unreal. I've never seen a guy over the last 15 years that is pieced together like him. He's 6'3" plus. He's 245 to 250 in that range. He's got sprinter speed. He's 30 years old, taking a lot of hits. Now he's giving out a lot too. And they got defensive backs that make business decisions if they think they want to tackle him in the open field. There's a lot of Olay stuff with him. You see the cape flash real quick. But to miss on Derrick, that's an F. And again, if you had one story, okay, I understand. No, you've changed your story over and over again. But it's the miscues on Jerry that has put the Cowboys in the situation that he's in. Jerry has always, I think, coveted the fact that he could win without Jimmy Johnson.
Yep. He's still chasing that ghost, man.
He's still chasing Jimmy's ghost. He won with Switzer, but Barry Switzer had Jimmy's players.
Exactly.
So, since then, they've never really been the same. And that was a magic moment for Dallas to have Jimmy, running the football operations and head coach, and Jerry Jones working the money matters. But he's not found a coach like Jimmy, and he doesn't want to give that guy any kind of power.
Right.
And I've heard people say, oh, he's close friends with Bill Belichick. Well, my thing is, do you really think that Bill Belichick would go to Dallas and they not provide him the power to get the players he wants? The answer is no. He ain't going there, and nobody's going to give it to him. His track record as far as draft choices the last 5 or 6 years have been an F grade too. And he's the reason the Patriots are in the spot that they're in today. So, you know what, to be honest with you, I don't know that another owner will hire Bill Belichick.
Not sure they will either.
Disagree with me, but if he's going to take over and he wants full power, I'm not giving it to him. Okay, I understand you're the best coach in the last 25 years of the NFL. No question. His track record says all that needs to be said. But what happened the last 5 or 6 years? What happened after Tom Brady? You weren't the same coach and you weren't the same team. So, I've had a number of people that have worked with the Patriots tell me we had draft grades on certain people he disregarded. It was his grades. It was his decisions. They were picking people that they maybe had a late second, early third round pick on. He was picking them in round 1 because he wanted them.
Sure. All right, Mike, let's switch gears to the game of the week. Nick Saban goes to Baton Rouge on the game day set. This thing's going to be wild. He coached at both teams. He did an unbelievable job modernizing both programs, which allowed other people to win and flourish. What describe the atmosphere Nick Saban on the game day set for several hours in Baton Rouge Saturday morning?
There's always been a love-hate relationship with Nick, always with Coach Saban. And there's a third part of it, fear. When he was at Alabama, LSU fans saw what he did at LSU. They saw what was coming, but, so that was fear. And then you felt it every time he hit the field. He was unbelievable against LSU and other SEC teams too. But there's still a lot of people that understand what he did. LSU was a middle-of-the-road SEC team when Nick took over. He turned them into a powerhouse in 2 years. And Les Miles built from that. Coach Orgeron, exact same way. And, it's been quite a few years. But even Coach Kelly, the reputation of LSU, those 3 letters are there. And he helped put it up front. You can think what you want about him, and you might dislike him, and you might hate him, but he did it. You got to give him his props. I think he's going to be greeted with a lot more applause than dislike. I really think, because I think most people realize that in our lifetime, Bo, we will never see a coach as dominant as him.
No.
Never.
No.
And so I think he's going to get a lot of respect and I think a lot of applause because he was the architect of what you see today at LSU and what's happened throughout the years, winning a national. He won one. Coach Miles won one. Coach O won one. He was the architect of all that.
No doubt. All right, the line's -3 Bama. Do you give Bama a slight edge, or are you going with the hometown Tigers under the lights in Death Valley, Mike D?
I think it's razor close. I think both teams have major flaws. Alabama's secondary is not very good. If you force Jalen Milroe to throw from the pocket, he's had issues this year. Where he's dangerous is when he's moving around. And last year, if we were playing two-hand touch, he'd have scored as many touchdowns as he did playing tackle. He wasn't close to him. So defensively is going to be a big thing to try to keep him bottled up and make him throw from the pocket. For LSU, they got to find a running game. You can't rely on Nussmeier throwing 50 passes a game. You got to be able to find a running game, which they have not been able to do for the most part this season. But there's something about playing at night, Tiger Stadium. And here's a loop, and I don't think it'll be a hurricane at the time, but there is a tropical depression that will turn into a hurricane entering the Gulf Friday and Saturday. Now, it's supposed to weaken, with the cooler waters and everything, but, man, You talk about a backdrop with that also looming, because we've been hit by so many storms down here over the last few years. I tell this story all the time. In my mid-60s, I was a kid in the mid-60s when Hurricane Betsy passed over our area. And so the eye of the storm passed right over where I live. Boy, I never saw it before. I never saw it in my entire lifetime, other than over the last 4 years, I've seen the eye of a storm 3 times.
Damn.
Passed right over my home 3 times in 4 years. And I went 60 and never saw it. So, man, there is something about playing, in Tiger Stadium at night. That there is that mystique. And even Lane Kiffin brought it up about that. There is something about that that puts, man, that crowd is loud. Because, listen, I would love to have the liquor sales Friday and Saturday in Baton Rouge. Man, Bo, we could retire and live 4 lifetimes off of the money that's going to be spent on that.
Man.
And so, listen, I give LSU a shot here because both teams are very flawed at certain areas. They are very flawed. But whoever loses, they're out of it. So this is basically a playoff game. Because if you lose, you got no shot to get into the final 12. If you win, there is a path for you to get there. Because LSU's only got 1 SEC loss to A&M. Only one.
Right.
And, man, we've seen the crazy world of college football.
And the Notre Dame's not a bad loss because Notre Dame's winning. So,
yeah, they lost to USC, though, the opener against SC.
Oh, that's right. That was A&M. My bad.
Yeah,
yes.
So they lost to SC. And
that is a bad loss.
Man, that really looks to be bad now. But, there is a path. And, we still got 4 weeks left. And what will happen where the SEC, you can see, is cannibalizing one another. One good team is eating the other team, and then you have Vanderbilt as a wild card this year who has been able to pull off some unbelievable upsets.
No doubt.
And nobody would have thought at this stage that A&M would only have 1 SEC loss. Now, they do play Texas at the end. And the one team I think a lot of people wrote off was Georgia. Better not.
No.
Better not. That team is getting healthier, and while they don't look great on offense, Carson Beck's been a disappointment. But, man, if that gets together, you don't want to play them.
No.
You don't want to play them late.
Mike D. on the Out of Bounds Show. Have a great week. Thanks, Mike Detillier.
Thank you, Bo.
The Out of Bounds Show is brought to you by BetMGM, the king of sports books, and the Beau Ravage's MGM Book Bar and Grill is the South's premier Vegas-style sports book. Visit a live betting window, self-service kiosk, and use the BetMGM app to place your bets on your favorite games and sporting events. The app offers free-to-play promotions, live betting options, and boosted odds specials at your fingertips. Only at the Beau Ravage, too.